Hare Krishna, my dear devotees.
Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Devamrita Swami Maharaj.
Haribol.
I will begin by singing the Mangala Charana prayers and leading a short kirtan, and then I will speak about Ratha Yatra. Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Vishnupad Paramahansa Prajakacharya Stotra Satasri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Prajakacharya Stotra Satasri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Amacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we have gathered for the most auspicious celebration of Jagannath Ratha Yatra. Lord Jagannath is a very merciful form of the Lord. People may be too fallen to come to the temple or too ignorant to come to the temple to get his mercy, but during the Ratha Yatra he comes out of the temple and gives his darshan and his blessings. There is a statement in the scripture quoted in the Nectar of Devotion that if one sees the procession of Lord Jagannath and claps his hands in ecstasy, he will go back home, back to Godhead. One disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, how is that possible? How does that work? And Srila Prabhupada explained that at the time of death, all of a person's memories from his life, all of his experiences from his life, pass through his mind or her mind, like a movie. And when it comes to the Ratha Yatra, that frame freezes. And so the person leaves his body with Lord Jagannath in his mind. Of course, this celebration is very old, thousands of years old, not millions of years old. And it was observed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was in Jagannath Puri. And for him, the Ratha Yatra took on a very special significance. As many of you know, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, but in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And during the Ratha Yatra, Lord Chaitanya sang a song which apparently was a mundane love song in which the beloved is recalling meeting her lover, at a certain place, at a certain time. And now she's meeting him again, but she wants to enjoy with him as they did in the other setting. So this apparently mundane love song was sung by Lord Chaitanya during the Ratha Yatra. And it was a mystery for most people why he was singing that song. But Swarup Damodar Goswami understood, and Rupa Goswami understood. And after the Ratha Yatra, Rupa Goswami composed a verse in which he, you could say, paraphrased the song that Lord Chaitanya was singing during the Ratha Yatra to give it its real inner meaning. So after the Ratha Yatra, Lord Chaitanya and Swarup Damodar Goswami went to Rupa Goswami's hut. And Rupa Goswami had written a verse in which he described the inner feelings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on a palm leaf and left it in the thatch of his, the roof of his hut. And he went, I guess, to take bath. And Lord Chaitanya saw that palm leaf and he read it. And the idea is that Srimati Radharani is meeting Krishna after a long time at Kurukshetra. And it's like she's the same Radharani and he's the same Krishna. But still, she wants to take him back to Vrindavan and enjoy pastimes with him there. And Lord Chaitanya's mood in pulling the chariot was that he's bringing Krishna, Lord Jagannath, Krishna back to Vrindavan. And the procession goes from of course, the Jagannath temple to the Gundicha temple. And in this mood, the Gundicha temple represents Vrindavan. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of Radharani, meeting Krishna at Kurukshetra, wants to pull him back to Vrindavan. And on 2 or 3 occasions, Srila Prabhupada has said that this Ratha Yatra is a very feeling festival because of that inner mood of Lord Chaitanya in the mood of Radharani when she met Krishna at Kurukshetra, wanting to bring him back to Vrindavan. So I have this book, Festivals with Srila Prabhupada, compiled by the Bhaktivedanta Archives. I didn't mark the place, but I'm quite sure that I can, well, I just opened it to the right page, one of the 2 right pages. So this is a Ratha Yatra lecture by Srila Prabhupada, delivered in Philadelphia on July 12th, 1975. And he begins with a general presentation of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness and a request to the audience to take up the chanting of Hare Krishna. And he does so in a very humble mood. And I'll read that before I get to the part about the Ratha Yatra per se. He says, our only request is, with folded hands and begging you, flattering you so many times, Dante Nidaya Trinikam Padayor Nipatya. Now that is, Srila Prabhupada is quoting a verse from Srila Prabhupada Saraswati, which in a way is our preaching method. Dante Nidaya, that means putting the straw in my teeth. Trinakam Padeor Nipatya, falling at your feet. Dante Nidaya Trinakam Padeor Nipatya. Kritva Chakapu Sadan Etadaham Brahmime, and flattering you 100 times. Hey Sadhava, O saintly person, which in most cases the person is not, but this is the method of preaching. Hey Sadhava, O saintly person, forget everything that you have learned and Gauranga Chandra Charane Kurutani Radha, and just become attached to Lord Chaitanya. And and Srila Prabhupada quoted this verse often as an instruction to us how to preach, how to appeal to people, and he himself employed that method. When we first came to Bombay, we stayed at the residence of Kailash Saxaria on Marine Drive. And Kailash Saxaria is, quite a wealthy, aristocratic person. And he invited, all the wealthy and aristocratic people he knew for a program on the terrace of his building. And Srila Prabhupada appealed to them, quoting this verse and literally begging them to chant Hare Krishna. And all these wealthy aristocratic people who were not really in the mood to chant Hare Krishna, but due to Srila Prabhupada's utter sincerity and humility, they were moved to chant Hare Krishna. They said, repeat after me, Hare Krishna. They did, they chanted Hare Krishna. So here in this Ratha Yatra talk, he's quoting that verse, Dante Nidaya Chinakam Padayor Napatya. This is our process. We are not very violent or pushy. You see, our procession came for 3 hours. There was no violence. And the police department of your country, yes, I remember it anyway, the police department of your country very much appreciate, because they have got experience. Whenever there is some procession, there is violence. But these people are different. So our request is that you chant Hare Krishna mantra and you will feel very happy. Now, this occasion, I may explain a little bit. Here you see Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra. They are Krishna and his elder brother and his sister, Subhadra. There is a place in India about 90 miles north of Delhi. The place is called Kurukshetra. It is accepted as a holy place of pilgrimage. People still gather there, especially during an eclipse, either solar or lunar eclipse. So once, 5,000 years ago, there was a solar eclipse, and people from all parts of India came to Kurukshetra. At that time, Krishna was living as a prince in Dwarka. He came with his older brother and sister. Krishna, in his childhood, was raised by Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda in Vrindavan. You will find this history in the Krishna book. So the incident is that Krishna was the most beloved personality in Vrindavan. And when he left Vrindavan, all the people there were very, very unhappy. So when Krishna came to Kurukshetra with his brother and sister, the residents of Vrindavan got news that Krishna is going there. Vrindavan is about the same distance, and Kurukshetra is greater distance. Anyway, they came to see Krishna out of their love. And the most beloved personality, who's the most beloved personality? Most beloved to Krishna? Yes. And the most beloved personality, Srimati Radharani, was requesting Krishna that you are the same Krishna. I am the same Radharani, but the place is not the same. You are here in Kurukshetra in royal opulence, and we are coming from the village. So if you again, please come to Vrindavan. This was Radharani's request. And it is a very ecstatic feeling. Those who are advanced devotees can relish these feelings. But that wasn't actually what I was looking for. But it is nice. Okay, now we have it. This is Srila Prabhupada's talk at the London Ratha Yatra, July 13th, 1972.
Maharaj, Prahlad Priya is from Philadelphia, and he was in that lecture as a young man before he joined the temple, and that lecture was what made him decide to join the temple.
That's why I was smiling so broadly when you started.
Yeah.
Sal and I were there. He was driving Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada was so humble that in spite of my heart being like a rock, it just melted me right there, and I decided that I had to pursue Krishna consciousness.
Wow, the proof of the potency of
Powerful.
Prabhupada.
It was very powerful. His humility
Purity of humility.
threw me back.
His humility. Wow.
Well, I could thank Sal because he insisted that I go.
Very auspicious. Very auspicious. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for your kindly participating in this Ratha Yatra festival. This festival is coming down since 5,000 years when Lord Krishna, along with his elder brother Balaram and younger sister Subhadra. We have a very bright group here. I'm very inspired. This festival is coming down since 5,000 years when Lord Krishna, along with his elder brother Balaram and his younger sister Subhadra, all together came in a chariot from Dwarka to Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is still existing, and Dwarka also is still existing. According to Vedic culture, when there is an eclipse, people take bath in sacred rivers. Can anyone think of another instance when this happened? Huh? Yes, Gaur Purnima. Yes. When anyway. So, according to Vedic culture, when there is an eclipse, lunar eclipse or solar eclipse, people take bath in sacred rivers. Especially they go to Kurukshetra, a pilgrimage place. So Krishna, along with his family members, brother and sister, came to Kurukshetra, and receiving this news, the gopis and other inhabitants of Vrindavan, where Krishna lived in his childhood, came to see him. So amongst the gopis, who was the chief? Fantastic. So amongst the gopis, Srimati Radharani was the chief. And when she saw Krishna in Kurukshetra in opulence, she said, "My dear Krishna, you are also here, and I am also here. But we are missing Vrindavan. So I wish you to come along with me again to Vrindavan, and we may enjoy in the forest of Vrindavan." These feelings of separation were preached by Lord Chaitanya. So this Rath Yatra festival is still observed in Jagannath Puri in India. And 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya participated in this festival. And he was in the mode of separation, as if Radharani was taking Krishna back to Vrindavan. So this Rath Yatra festival is a feeling festival for the Vaishnavas. Lord Chaitanya taught us how to feel separation from God. Lord Chaitanya never taught us that he had seen God, but he felt the separation of God very severely. This is an important point. Similarly, his next disciples, the 6 Goswamis, also prosecuted their devotional service by feelings of separation. Hey Radhe Vrajadevike Chalalite Hey Nanda Suno Kutaha Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale Kalindi Vane Kutaha Go Sanstaviti Sarvato Rajapure Kedar Mahavivalo Vande Rupa Sanatano Rakuyugo Shijiva Gopalago. And it means that I offer my obeisances to the 6 Goswamis who were feeling separation and wandering all over Vrindavan and shouting, Hey Radhe Vrajadevi Kirchalali, O Radharani, Queen of Vrindavan, O Lalita, O son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you? Are you by the side of Govardhan? Or are you on the banks of the Kalindi? Where are you? These were their moods in prosecuting Krishna consciousness. So this Rath Yatra festival is a very nice feeling festival for the Vaishnavas. Anyone who is participating in this festival will gradually develop his dormant love for Krishna. Thank you very much for your kindness. So yeah, Srila Prabhupada is so humble, so sincere. All right, well, I will just share a few reflections on what I saw during our parade. Basically what I saw was that almost everyone was happy to see us. Everyone was smiling, and yeah, I don't know if the mood of the people has changed or whether because of the presence of the temple here, people have gotten to know us and appreciate us. But, you know, pretty much everyone was smiling and happy. And as the procession was coming back, I was having that thought. And then suddenly I saw a lady, you know, standing on the side of the walkway. I don't know if she was frowning or just knitting her brow. But then her husband next to her smiled and started very gleefully waving. So, yeah, there might be an odd exception. But really, what I saw, the people really appreciating, the devotees, the parade, the kirtan, and they all are making great spiritual advancement, even if they don't know it. Most of them probably don't know it, but they're making great spiritual advancement. Srila Prabhupada said if someone just appreciates a devotee, if someone sees a devotee walking down the street and thinks, oh, that person looks nice, that person looks like a nice person, just by appreciating devotees, they make spiritual advancement. So how much spiritual advancement these innocent people made by appreciating the devotees, clapping, many of them are clapping, joining in one way or the other in the singing and dancing. So it's a very merciful festival, and my appreciation and gratitude to Tukaram Prabhu and Paduga Prabhu and the others for being so merciful to bring the mercy of Lord Jagannath and the holy name to the people. Kali Kaler Namarupa Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, the holy name of Krishna is the incarnation of Krishna. Kali Kaler, in the time of Kali. Namarupa, the form of the holy name, Krishna Avatar is the avatar of Krishna. So they got so many blessings. Lord Jagannath, the holy name, and the devotees. So yeah, I'm delighted to be here. And, I don't know what else to say. It's just, it's wonderful. So, do any of you have any comments or questions or reflections? Yes?
Just one. Lord Chaitanya, Panchatattva as my witness. When I was 10 years old, someone threw me in a swimming pool because they thought I'd learn how to swim. I personally experienced that, and I'll never forget it. Everything went by frame, moments that you would never even recall consciously. So it's absolutely a fact. I was very cautious about who I told that to, But I knew immediately when Srila Prabhupada explained it that it was absolutely true.
Confirmed,
Confirmed.
verified by personal experience. Yeah, and now if that happens, that frame with Lord Jagannath will freeze and give up your body, sing Lord Jagannath, and go back to Godhead.
By the way, I wanted to say thank you to Tukaram, and I also wanted to say thank you. It's always nice to see you, and to Maharaj. So thank you for coming and giving us some nectar, as you always do.
Yes, my pleasure. Any other questions or comments? I think we move on now to His Holiness Devamrita Swami Maharaj.